This is big.
It's a conversation that's sure to cause debate.
It's about New Zealand's constitution.
Which means it affects you.
Say what?
Stay with me and all will be revealed. You see, I'm one of 12 New Zealanders appointed to an independent panel set up by the government to start a national conversation about New Zealand's constitution. And we need input from you, New Zealand.
So, how did you end up on this panel? And more importantly, how come they didn't ask me?
Well, it's made up of a cross-section of society, and the panel want to hear what you think of our constitution and how you want it to look in the future.
But before we go down that track, let's back up the truck and take it back to Constitution 101. Pretty catchy tune, that.
To break it down, most groups from kohanga reo, sports clubs, to big companies have a constitution. A constitution provides a set of rules and guiding principles about how to run that organisation. It reflects what's important to the group and the people that belong to it.
Right, from like my local rugby club to my local supermarket.
That's right, and our country's constitution does exactly the same thing. It's a set of rules about how we live together as a country.
But how come we don't hear about the constitution here in Aotearoa like we do in America?
America's constitution is mostly written down in one document. New Zealand's isn't. It's like a licorice all sort.
What, made up of different parts?
Yeah. It's made up of laws like the Bill of Rights Act and the Electoral Act and principles like everyone must follow the law.
Hey, but what about the Treaty of Waitangi?
That's a tricky one. The Treaty of Waitangi is generally recognised as this country's founding document, but its role in our constitution has been widely debated.
So is that an issue that the panel will be considering?
For sure. The panel has a range of questions they want to ask New Zealanders surrounding our constitution, including what the role of the treaty is.
Kapai, so what exactly does New Zealand's constitution do?
The constitution says what government can and can't do, how laws are made, and what power you have as an individual in determining what the laws are. And our laws are made here by the MPs.
Who were voted in by you out there, the people of Aotearoa.
And laws affect our everyday life. For example, as soon as you walk out the door and jump in your car, you have to wear a seatbelt.
Yep, make it click, part of our transport laws, just like the old warrant of fitness and rego.
So now we've explained what New Zealand's constitution is, let me introduce some of my fellow panel members to tell you about the review. Co-Chair Emeritus Professor John Burrows has led or co-led several Law Commission reviews.
Well, this review is to give New Zealanders a chance to express their views on something that really affects them. Because the Constitution is about who runs the country, how it's run, and how New Zealanders' rights are protected. The Constitution belongs to the people, and if there's to be any change, there's got to be widespread support for it.
Henry Rewa Potu is a Māori language consultant, a whare kura teacher and a PhD student.
As a panel, we want to find out what you think about the Constitution. So share your ideas, tell us what you think. We're here to listen.
Māori leader Sir Tiffany O'Regan co-chairs the panel with Professor Burrows.
The membership of New Zealand society, the different groups in New Zealand society, the age range, all of these things are going to be quite dramatically different. How do we want to talk to each other? How do we want to relate to each other? How do we want to elect our leadership? What's the role and status of the Treaty of Waitangi in the future? How do we want all that to work?
Deborah Coddington has a long-established career as a journalist and is a former List MP.
This is an ongoing conversation. It won't end with us, it won't end with a change of government, but what people say will make a difference and they will hear back from us.
But what I want to know, are Kiwis even aware we have a constitution, and do they know what it's all about? Let's take it to the street, people. Just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Yes.
Did you know that New Zealand has a constitution?
No, I didn't know, and it was a surprise for me, being a Sri Lankan.
Do any of you guys know that we have a constitution?
Yes, I believe it's the rules for the rulers.
Have you ever heard the word constitution?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it means.
Oh, okay. Do you know what a constitution is?
I not a huge amount, but it's probably more sort of about your rights, I suppose, New Zealand's rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know a lot about what New Zealand's constitution is at all.
Did you know that New Zealand has a constitution?
Oh, I didn't know we had a constitution. I thought we had a treaty.
Are you aware New Zealand has a constitution?
Well, I didn't realise until recently that we had an act that was passed in 1986, a Constitution Act, but we don't have one constitution that brings all of our laws and guiding principles into one document yet.
Right.
That's my understanding, unless I'm wrong.
Do you reckon we should have one?
I think so, as long as they keep updating it instead of letting it, you know, like America's obviously got trouble at the moment because they haven't updated it and everyone's confused about what it means.
Yeah.
So we need to keep updating it, see where we're going and what we want it to mean to us.
So we need to think big here, people, not just about what job I'm going to have next year, although I am available for work, but the kind of opportunities we want our moko or grandchildren to have.
It can seem a daunting task, but take the time and think about how you want New Zealand to be run in the future.
Because this is your chance to have your say and be part of the Constitution conversation.
Theo, you're going to scare them away.
Come on, Bernice. You know you want to.